Set in a German-occupied Denmark in World War II, Number the Stars tells the story of a teenaged Annemarie Johansen. When the German occupation becomes increasingly hostile, the writing is on the wall for the Jews. The Johansens are ordinary people that took extraordinary risks to stand against injustice in the only way they knew how. They became active in the resistance movement, helping to smuggle targeted groups of people to safety. Annemarie and her family helped rescue her best friend, Rosen, and her family. Alan had said that her mother was afraid of the ocean, that it was too cold and too big. The sky was too, thought Annemarie. The whole world was too cold, too big, and too cruel. Welcome to the Bookbibuli podcast, and today we have Yashvi with us, who's going to discuss this lovely book. Everyone needs a reminder every once in a while, especially as the holidays approach, of being brave and standing up for what is right. So welcome to Yashvi, who's going to talk about Number the Stars.
Hello, my name is Yashvi and I'm 12 years old. I study in Shikshanta school.
Tell me, Yashvi, were you angry with those jerky German guards? Because I hated them, and I loved it when Kirsty told them off. What did you think about that?
I definitely agree. I was impressed by Christie's confidence and the way she frankly communicated to the soldiers to keep their hands off her.
Well, talking of characters, I loved Annemarie. I identified with her in ways I can't really explain. Without Annemarie, do you think Alan would have survived?
I honestly feel that Ellen was quite soft-spoken, which made me feel that Annemarie really helped her survive, and without her, I really don't think Ellen would have survived her dark and scary journey.
I read this book a very long time ago, but I have been reading it again and again, and it has never changed. There are scenes which are burned into my memory. There was also other information about the inspiration for the story, about the incredibly brave people who risked their lives helping others. In that perspective, what did you think about Uncle Henrik's awesomeness?
I loved Uncle Henrik's initiative to helping the Rosens get to someplace safe. And not to forget, he tries quite hard to be independent and hardworking without a wife. I would say that he's a multi-talented man, very independent when it comes to chores and very brave when he was saving the Rosens. He was also quite smart with the escape plans.
I also love the ending, especially because it doesn't condescend. The ending was enjoyable despite the inevitable sadness. Were you sad about Peter and his last request?
Oh yes, I felt like I was going to cry after reading about his last request, which didn't even get granted. But from what happened to him, I learned that life is one of the strongest weapons.
It is quite wonderful how the other Danish neighbors kept the Jewish family's apartments clean and looked after and celebrated their friend's safe return. And hats off to the Danes. It was really incredible. Now, talking once again on the book, when you heard about Lise's death, were you like, oh?
Yes, indeed. She died trying to do the same thing that Peter did. And that is the reason that she wasn't forgotten.
Well, thank you very much, Yashvi. It has been a pleasure to have you with us. And I noticed that you've been a regular with our book club events and you've been listening to our podcast too. So what do you think about us?
So I think that Bookbibuli is a very constructive place for people who find books intriguing. The monthly discussions on various books is something that I wouldn't miss. So overall, I quite like the place.
Thank you once again. This is an excellent introduction to World War II and the Holocaust for children ages 10 to 12 because it tells the inspiring story about the heroic Danes during the occupation of the country by the Germans. This is a story that I believe should be read and experienced by everyone. I will say that it was deeply sentimental and thought-provoking. There was plenty of action and suspense to keep you on the edge of your seat, but nothing too terrifying or gory for children. Adults, of course, may find it a little oversimplified, but then you have to look at the target audience. It is about everyday people that do incredibly courageous things when backed into a corner. It is about the strength of the human spirit. This is the kind of book that makes you reevaluate your values about what you considered important in life. And just to round it up, she fell asleep, and it was a sleep as thin as the night clouds, dotted with dreams that came and went like stars. So there, we have Number the Stars. And now it's time for Bookbibuli Read Record. The reading competency required for this book is 4. The reader should be able to read and comprehend simple English. The language is easy and the narrative is interesting. You can possibly finish it in 1 to 2 days, and of course it can be read with breaks. The genre is middle grade, historical fiction, World War II. It will be a natural extension to a reading trajectory which already has Holes, Where the Red Fern Grows, and Wonder. Mostly, this story is inspirational and has positive vibes. Also serves as a great introduction for World War II. And once you have read this, you are ready for The Giver by the same author. All the best and happy reading!